Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching me from. How are you this beautiful Monday? Well, it's a beautiful day around here, and it's even more beautiful coming to your home or to your office, wherever you're watching from. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Yes, I really appreciate it. After my last impromptu video, and I saw that some people have seen it. I have some likes and some people have subscribed. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It means so much to me. So today we're going to be looking at the history of Notary. How did it all start? Where did it start from? How did it evolve? And things like that. That's what we'll be looking at. I'm going to be making brief, very brief videos because I don't like long videos myself. So, but I just believe that you'll be able to get one or two things from it at the end of the day, something that would, be of benefit to your life or to somebody around you. So, thank you again for stopping by. I really bless you. So, before we start, I'd like for you to do some things for me. If this is your first time of coming through to my channel, please subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification button, that red button. Yes, turn it on so that when next I upload a video, you'll get notification that and you wouldn't be missing out on anything, on any content. And above all, I want you to share the videos, share my video, share with your friends, share with your family, share with your colleagues, anybody you think it's going to benefit, even if it is your enemy. Yes, I said your enemy. If you think you have one, because even the Bible says we should feed our enemies. So if you share my video with your enemy, you're feeding the person with something. Yes, you're feeding the person indirectly with something that's going to be of benefit to the person. And with that, the Bible says you heap coals of fire on that person. So if you wish somebody good and he wishes you bad, I mean, that's just what it's saying in essence. So share it with them and also comment. Leave your comments, say something. Just make this channel yours. I like to read from you what you think. If there is anything you want me to put, to add, or even what you think I should subtract, just let me know. It will go a long way for me and it will mean so much for me. It's a free world, freedom of expression. Express yourself through this channel. I'm going to love it. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, like the saying goes, that necessity is the mother of invention. We all know that most things we see around now, they came by through, inventions, some lacuna, some lapse somewhere. Somebody saw it and like, oh, okay, there's something I can do about this. We can just put this here and this will make things right. That's how most things came by. All the things we met today. So nothing just dropped from heaven like that, if you know the history of creation. So, but people, as men thought of needs, they started inventing things. Yes. When we're in the university, I use a lot of boiling rings. I don't know if most people know what that is now. I use boiling ring to boil water, to cook, rice, beans, whatever it was I wanted to cook. And believe you me, I got most of my things burnt. So I used to think to myself then that, if only this thing could have some kind of timer or a regulator, something that would just help me. And now I heard there's something like that in the market. If I thought about it, if I had taken steps in that time, maybe by now I will be an inventor, a creator of something. So if there is a lacuna around you, there is a lab, something loophole that you think should be filled up, please do not hesitate. Just take that bold step. Research, look for ways of filling that vacuum. And at the end of the day, you'll be helping humanity. Thank you once again for stopping by my channel, for liking it, for subscribing, for your comments, and for everything. Thank you. So, in my research, I came by that the notary, as we know it today, or some call it notary, some call it notary public, some call it public notary. I want to tell you that there isn't so much difference as to the functions. The only thing that I see that is different is the prerequisites towards becoming one in the common law system and the civil law system. But that's not the topic for the day. I think in another video we'll be addressing that. So today I just want us to see, how this thing has evolved. Because most videos that I saw, they didn't really tell us how it started. They just say this is what Notary Public does, this is what you should look for and all that. But I want you to know how it all started before we even know where we are now. And then if there is a need for improvement, if there is a room for improvement, what can we do to improve on the services, to make the lives of the next generations better? Yes, that's the essence of things that we should be doing. How to make lives better, how to leave the world a better place than we met it. Amen. I'm sorry I said that. Anyway, so um, my research shows that the notary public has evolved through the ancient Egypt period, the Roman Empire period. There is something called the Order of the Knights Templar period, the notary public in England, which was around the 13th to 14th centuries, the notaries and the conquest of Columbus in the 15th century. That's Christopher Columbus. Yes, and then the notary in the early America. You see, most of the time, things will have started in other parts of the world, in some areas, but because there were no records of it, we would not be able to say that was where it started from. So record keeping is very, very vital. It's because we have records that it started in Egypt. That's why we can say, okay, this is the origin of this thing today. They might have been practicing it in other parts of the world, even before Egypt. But like Egypt has a good record of history, and they even call it the home of modernization. Yes, if you look at history, that's what they call it. That's because Egypt has record of so many things. Even biblically, you say a lot of things happened in Egypt. So it's said that the origin of notaries can be traced to the ancient Egypt. Yes, there was a time in the history of Egypt when commerce was growing, transactions were growing, people were buying and selling, and a lot of things were going on. And then there was a thought that if I'm going to give my money to this person and he's going to give me maybe documents or something, I'm going to need a third party who's going to authenticate, who's going to tell me that this thing is a valid document. I can't just take it on the surface of it like that. So that was when they started appointing officials that they termed sesh, sesh, or scribes. You know, they were people who would put their accents on personal letters, official proclamations, tax records, and other valid documents. Once you just need that you don't trust somebody's document who's giving you a document or something, you just take it to a third person who is appointed or elected, in the society. Most of the time, they are people of high integrity that the society trusted and they can vouch for them in one way or the other. They are the ones who will now put their signature or accent or whatever on the document and say, okay, on the face of this document, I can see that it's a very good one. And that most of the time gave the person involved in the transaction confidence, a little confidence that, okay, this is a very good transaction. I can sleep, I can go to sleep, on it. Yes. The Egyptians, were reported to value recording of events so much so that one of the pharaohs who was named Tutankhamen, Pharaoh Tutankhamen, yes, Tutankhamen, included writing equipment in his tomb for afterlife. You can imagine that. Well, I think some people believe in afterlife, some don't. But that's to show you the extent to which the Egyptians valued documentation and authentication of documents. That even somebody who was dying had to say, please, when I'm dying, I put these things for afterlife. Yes. So basically, that's just how it started. I mean, they are saying it started in Egypt, but some of the people would say that the true ancestors of notaries were born in Roman Empire. You see, everybody's laying claim. So many say the first notary to be known was a Roman slave named Tiro, Tiro, who developed a shorthand system which he called note, for taking down speeches of his master Cicero. We all know the popular Cicero. And as people got more educated, notary or notarials, as they were called, served to prepare contracts. You see, they were doing then the works that lawyers do now. They prepare contracts, wills, and other important documents for a fee. It was a job which were the way they were paid for. At one point in the history of Rome, notary publics were church officials which were appointed by the Pope. Yes, so that was how the history developed from Tiro to church, and nobody else could even appoint any other person except the Papa, the Pope, who would uh, say, maybe based on the recommendation of some church members or having watched them for a while, will now appoint them, and they were carrying out all those functions which have now been transferred or taken over by attorneys. Yes. Then we have the Knights Templar. This was a monastic military order formed at the end of the First Crusade with the mandate of protecting Christian pilgrims en route to Holy Land. These people became so powerful, they created the modern system of banking, mortgages, and loans. You know, they were so highly educated and became critically important notaries for all Templar business, official documents, orders, and proclamations. That's the evolvement. So they were taking up more roles. Now they were getting involved in official documents such as banking, mortgages, and a whole lot of other things like that. And then we came to the era of notaries in England. The notary in England started when King Henry VIII separated England from Roman Catholic Church. So he continues the appointment of notaries through the Archbishop of Canterbury. He was saddled with the duty. That's the Archbishop of Canterbury was saddled with the commissioning of notaries in England, throughout England and the New World in particular. In the early days, most notaries in England were members of the clergy, but over time, the members of the clergy ceased to involve themselves in secular businesses. So, laymen in towns and trading centers and traders, they began to assume the role and functions of notaries, I think, as it is even till today. And then we have the era of the conquest of Columbus, when Christopher Columbus discovered, went on his voyage. When they sent him on his voyage, he had to go with a notary public. Yes, a notary, because I guess maybe they didn't trust him. I don't know, but he went with a notary who was called Rodrigo do Escobedo. Yes, that's his name. The essence was to enable Christopher Columbus on all his voyages to ensure that all his discoveries or discovered treasures were accounted for. Yes, they must be accounted for. And once they were accounted for, the notary that went with him will now put his accent on it. A witness that, that, okay, they are best, they are true to the extent of the report. Yes, that was what was happening then. So that's the era in the in of the Columbus, and that's how the notary in the early America after the independence and all that. That's the early America. It's very, it saddened my heart, I would say, to know that the American notary history didn't have a very good start. It didn't have a good start because the very first American notary was Thomas Fugel. Fugel. He was appointed the head of record keeper of the New Haven colony in 1639, but was excommunicated and returned to England in 1646 because he falsified records. Yes, he did. You can imagine. So this thing called corruption has been long imbibed in the history of humanity. So they had to return him to England because he falsified documents. So from 1700 to 1900, then the President of the United States would appoint Notary Public for District of Columbia. This now lies in the power of the mayor of the District of Columbia to appoint Notary Publics, and in other states as well. Every state in America, you know, has different procedure to appointing the notary public, but we'll get there eventually. I'll let you know all that. But one thing I want you to take from the history generally is that people who were appointed right from Egypt to Rome to England to no, to America have always been people of high integrity. Yes, you must have some kind of integrity. The society must know you. Somebody must be able to vouch for you that you are not even somebody. I think a group of people must be able to say about your character that you're trustworthy, that you're truthful, and that your character fits, of somebody who can be a notary or notary public or public notary. Well, that before I come to the end of my video, because like I said, I don't want to bore you. I don't want to be doing long videos. I stumbled on two important things which I would like for you to take as well. Yeah, the very first female notary was commissioned in Iowa by Governor William M. Stone, and her name was Emily Calkins Stebbins. Emily Calkins Stebbins, that's in America. And there were other two female, because it's a long history for women to become notary. Like, there was even a Supreme Court judgment that said a woman cannot be a notary in the around 1900s because, of those discrimination that was still against women. So for this woman to have broken through, it was a big deal. And they were recorded to have been, real women activists. Or another two of them were Clara Volz and Marilla Rica, who were first notaries in California and District of Columbia, respectively. And one other thing that I would like you to take is, the popular William Shakespeare, the English poet, playwright, and actor. Playwright was a notary. Yes, it was a notary as well. It was a notary. I know. That would surprise you. So just to show you that it's only people of high integrity that are called into that commission of a notary. Thank you for watching.